Right, Ledgers, welcome to Bitcoin for Ledgers crypto review. This was sponsored with our partners Prime XBT, so thanks to them for making it happen. You can check them out by using the link in the description and then code TraderSZ for up to 7k deposit on your bonus on your deposit, sorry. So yeah, they make these streams happen free for you guys. So if you like the content, if you're learning, you can show appreciation by signing up to the link, unique one in the description, and that will tell Prime you guys want this to continue. Also with Prime, you can trade many different products. You can do some margin, copy trading, content, etc. But the main thing for me is the crypto. You can trade FX on there, commodities, stock indices. So I do cover those as well. So unique in that way. So check them out. What's the worst that can happen? And like the video, subscribe to the channel if you can. Nothing in this video constitutes financial advice. Seek the help of a professional before embarking with your capital. So let's get straight in. Reduce this. So we'll start with the update from the last review. So I've got a few tabs on, and I'm away at the moment, so I'm choosing this. So I'm going to quickly, briefly go over last week's plans. Just for Bitcoin and Ethereum. I don't need to keep repeating it. You know exactly what happened. I covered it. I said the deviation there, trigger, target, both got hit, done. Nothing more to add. Let's quickly review the context for a little while. Okay, shortly. I think a lot of people are posting something similar or patterns that are just patterns on its own. This is why sometimes people laugh at people that trade TA because they don't take into account of context. But I think you need both. You need context. Obviously, pattern for me is just a trigger plan. You know, the context is what sets the direction. Not the pattern. Pattern can be a failure pattern. Pattern can be a successful pattern. You know, what determines or increases the odds or decreases the odds is the context. So what we've got here is that still, just to remind ourselves, context, we're still into major resistance area. Okay, there, as you can see, consolidation, we're just going to retest there. Okay, so short term, I would anticipate at least, I mean, if we're treating this as a range, then at least we retest on this area. It's taken at the minimum there, our first target area, short term. But looking at it from this point of view, and then if it's a deviation, so previously, this deviated here, once it got back above, pushed to range highs and extended. Just like when this dropped, extended below range lows. Same thing, possibly, it's not confirmed just yet. But if it gets below here, well, that's a deviation as well, just like the bottom one. Why can't it happen? Of course it can happen. There, and just towards there, and the same thing may repeat time and time again. If it breaks above and holds above here, then like I said previously, I will be looking for longs. That's when I'll get bullish. I don't get bullish at resistance. Towards, maybe around this area. Shitty line. Let me draw that again. First target right here. And then here, and then possibly higher up. Let's just go with easy targets there. Why have I said that the second target there? If you can see in the lower time frame, zoom in. It's just this region here, isn't it? Okay, there. The objective, if it clears the level, but I'm not going to long resistance. I mean, okay, I can say let's come to the first area of stops being run, but that's still a breakdown. That's a stop run, maybe some profit taking into resistance continuation. Okay, so the pattern I'm seeing a lot of people point. This is where I think pattern on its own is irrelevant. I'm not saying it won't work. Don't mix my words. I'm saying it's on its own. It's not as high odds. So I think this is the one that's going around Twitter right now. We were the first one to take this, to be honest. When we went long day, but that had a different context. This has a different context. I mean, it's say this as a range high, whatever. Okay, so I'm seeing the same thing like this. Okay, that's fine. Maybe for short term, but when it was down here, okay, it was at a different price. ES was doing something different. Dixie was doing something different, coming off resistance. Okay, so you know you got all the parts of an equation, and if you're looking at just one part on its own, you're missing the rest. The answer's going to be wrong. So that's just an analogy or something. But okay, why do I think this? I can't just say that, state it. I gotta give a reason for it. Okay, let's give that reason. Previously, that same pattern hadn't taken out these clean stops here, and that was the extreme end of the range. So it hadn't retested the range highs. It had a dip. It is actually retesting near enough support area, and I discussed previously why it did have to come towards here, because This is the bare minimum. That part was traded. All this was traded down here. So in essence, for me, and I did a snippet video. If you look back at the date time, you can somehow find a snippet video. That was the support. Okay, that consolidation phase, and then he confirmed it with that deviation to take out that, and they obviously extended targets, just like these were extended targets to the downside. Obviously, this low and this low. We didn't rule that out. Actually, we did go long here and targeted 28.5k area. So, but however, this one here is happening at macro resistance I've just shown. See the difference? So there's a big difference there. So even if I am looking at that, well, it may be the bottom, I don't know. But I'm looking at it from a odds point of view. And this is just the beginning. This is just I'm just doing Bitcoin and it's all. And that is it, showing it off. But technically it's starting to break down, okay? It hasn't really seen that support area here, but it's been the minimum criteria. But, okay, we would say that. If it was to reclaim, then okay, that would increase the odds for me, even though I don't like it. Why is that resistance? If the same pattern here that was happening above, then I would be very bullish. That exact same pattern. However, it's happening at resistance, so failure patterns most likely occur. It's different. Okay, if you're trading within the range, shorter, that's different. More directional plays. Okay, if it was to reclaim back above here, I may have to cut my shorts, but that would mean even if I did look for longs or existing gave me a long, it would have to be capped towards here because the bigger macro resistance is still there until cleared. So I hope that made sense. Now, one more basic thing. I won't go over equities and stuff because my view on the equities, that NQ stuff, is exactly the same as the last stream. So there's no point repeating it. If we look at, so what I mean by context is if you look at this chart, this is breaking down right up key resistance, macro resistance. Okay. This is breaking up the dollar index now after weeks and weeks and weeks of consolidation. Same thing, trendline break. That is at macro supports. Okay, what is that macro support? Well, let's look into that. If I look at it, got two of the same charts. Here, weekly. This is why, you know, if you look at this, the odds of that previously when that was dropping, Dixie was down here. And that's why I took the long on Bitcoin and Ethereum. This time round, this is huge macro support zone. So the context is different. So if you're going to ignore that, then the odds may not be as high as you like. So let's continue now. I've got loads of charts up here. We can use these range levels as well, but I'm going to go with the natural small SR. So what I've done here is basically, if we look at the monthly now, okay, this is why I think expansion is going to happen, because usually the consolidation phases happen after a big run up, okay, and if the monthly candle does a big range already, then we go into consolidation phase. So if we look, April was more of a consolidation phase, okay, slowing down at resistance, forming that candle top, but now the expansion phase, even if it's just towards here, we've taken our previous month's low, we're retesting it now currently. Sorry about my lines, fucking this mouse is a bit wild. Hang on, bear with me. I'm recording this on a laptop. It's a very good laptop, but the mouse, it's like one of those gaming mouse. I'm just not used to that. Too fast. There, too sensitive. I'm not gonna change it. But anyways, so expansion phase, just like this was expansion phase. Okay, coming off of, remember the context. The dollar's breaking out. Mark of the resistance on, as you know, it's just on monthly. It's hard to say. It's starting to look kind of shit. Okay, now obviously this could brain bound. Probably by next week we'll know. So what I've done is I've gone and drawn in last month's high. Could be considered last month's low, last month's mid range, and this is now for the level to level trades. And I did post that actually in, if you remember, not this one, not this one. This one here, quarterly open. Remember we were trading this. So I expect to move towards at least around this area, which is that SR zone. And then if it breaks and holds below here, level to level, there. So if you watch the previous streams, you should know all this. And that was the trigger. If you look, I said it on a swing basis, if I was to miss the trades within here, then this was the trigger plan. So I forgot to mention that, but yeah, trigger plan. Down. That's where I compound. If you remember, I called the trade here. This is got the swing trade. I posted 22.90. From the stream I mentioned it, I didn't post that, but in the stream it was there. Obviously the trend was a bit different there. Enter the second compounding there. Once that's break even, I couldn't enter here because it was still in a range. So I took day trades, which was the initial setup I showed. This is the swing trade now, because now I've got a new validation that should confirm the high. Personally, for the swing trades, I would cut it on a clean. I mean, it shouldn't really reach there, but the level I'm going to show on the other chart, I mean, it can swing fail this, but if it's going to reclaim back above here, I'm going to get the fuck out. Okay, that doesn't even have to take longs, because the context suggests me I can just wait for whichever setup my system finds highly probable. I don't need to be in every single trade. I'm in loads of nice ones, easy plays. If I don't like the longs, even if it does reclaim, okay, I'll wait. I'll go to something else. Just whatever's easiest for me. Your job is to make money. Now I have to now trade Bitcoin only, even if it's low probability setups. And in that FX pair, that's an easy peasy show that lines up with all my rules. I'm gonna ignore it because I'm just gonna trade Bitcoin. No, I'll go to that fucking FX pair and double the size it. I'm just joking, double the size, but you know what I mean. Just go to where the money's easier. I was trading copper this week, crude oil, because it was easier place. I was still in the crypto shorts. But you know what I mean. So that's that there. So let's see how this goes. But the other chart here, so I've drawn the drain level. So this pink level is April's low, so below monthly low. So that would be fine. So if it starts to break down, so that's that monthly high, monthly low. I showed at the beginning before this. That's the midpoint. See that midpoint finding support there. Support should then become resistance. Trigger. Target. I'm gonna a minute. The main target will be the mid-range, the grey level, but we should not, just like remember my swing position where I've got my stop loss, we should not go above here. So if it starts consolidating, breaks down, sorry my mouse is a bit weird, target, and then if it continues, if it starts to bounce here and gets out, I can get back in. Okay, target. And take out that monthly low. It doesn't have to come to these two, but this will be a high probability objectives. I think to run these, I think 23k is a high probability objective. The high that caused the low, retest that region. Now that depends on the dollar. So say for example's sake, Bitcoin comes in towards here, or say it comes in towards here, whichever level, whichever key area, or wherever it is, and say the dollar index at the time is trading at and rejecting off of range high. So the reason why I exited the shorts previously, I went long. If you recall, if you follow my feed properly, you're low, I take both sides. I'm just bearish up resistance, bullish up support. But people, I don't know what the fuck they're on about. But see that there. So when this starts to break down, swung, fail this high. That's where we flip, right? So say if it comes into here, starts rejecting, and Bitcoin, that's up, whatever support level, I don't know which one. Okay, then a cut. I may even look for longs. It depends on what the dollar index is doing at the time and what the equities are doing, etc., etc. Okay, another piece of context to add. So that's one of the major ones for me. Look at NQ. I've done the breakdown of NQ, but NQ and ES both. So I'll just do NQ for here. The plan for the ideal plan for NQ, I've already posted on my Twitter and previous stream, so I won't repeat that. But that's still range chart, and that is 2020 mid range macro resistance. And say range lows here. It doesn't have to come towards even here. So if this has room to go lower towards there, if it's at range highs and it's proven to at least goes towards there, it's resistance to moving. Otherwise, isn't it? Okay, if it flips and it starts holding, consolidates and holds above, then okay, I'm bullish. Then I'll get bullish crypto, and the dollar index starts breaking down. Fair play, that's fine. But if dollar index is a 1 point major confluence factor saying one thing, NQ. Yes, similar thing until proven otherwise. Dollar is more confirmed in that state. So go back to dollar index. Okay. Look at the FX majors. They're all coming down. That shows dollar strength. So this still has room. Hang on here. If this still has room to go. So that's macro SR and the low time frame. It's refining in. So if the Bitcoin target over here and this tell here. Then, well, we'll see how far Bitcoin has to go. And Bitcoin can move in one go. 5, 10k candles in one go, as you've seen if you trade long enough. So let's go to the trigger plan. So there's two ways. One is I'm looking at it for in terms of invalidation. I mean, I think the top pink line here is the previous day's high. So possibly range, run these, or even if it doesn't run those. There, I'll smack it towards here at least, and the levels below. Okay, I'm no fancy long previously, and I don't care. I'm missing out. I've been shitloads anyway on this, and if it doesn't give me, I like to take setup within the context, whether that's bullish or bearish. Okay, so but it could squeeze. I mean, if it's going to play our previous design, we got this SR level, so that's worst case region to squeeze up to. Now, if it starts reclaiming that, then we got problems. Not problems, but I don't know what's going to happen then. I don't need to know. I just need to go with what's clear. Okay, I hope that made sense. So I'm keeping it straightforward. Okay, either runs up, and then if it deviates here, if I was to enter here, in case this is a deviation, this is still SR, reaches the previous month's low. I mean, if it works under this lower time frame, it's not much of a difference on a monthly chart. If I short it here, I'll probably keep a hard stop here, but if it starts to reclaim back above that quarterly, I mean, short term, if it starts to reclaim back above that quarterly, then I'll probably get out. But my swing trade, which I've managed differently, I want to see swing failure of here max. Okay, so it's not the same trade management. Swing players are going to give it time. I mean, I sat through quite a bit, but that's swing trading. If you can't understand, I mean, I shorted it here. I mean, it nearly trailed me out. See, that's swing trade, but if you're going to hold it, that's where you're going to go through. So that's why I day trade, to make up for it. In case this takes me out break even, so the fuck what? Made enough of the day trades. But for swing trading, you're just going to be patient. And that's why I don't move my stops too quick until proven otherwise. I mean, if this did start breaking down, then obviously I could probably trim my stop losses there. Break down below the range levels and prove itself, but we'll see. But that's a different thing. Just focus on the task at hand. So, I'm digressing. That's what often happens. I get too carried away. Let's go to here. So the target's in mind. Okay. So short term, just to make a simple plan based on whatever I've already told you. The high that goes the low. Oh, hang on. Here. Oopsie daisies. And who cares around that region anyway. So just to say, short term there. Target zone. Okay, T whatever. Okay, that's the main target. Main. Oh fuck. Yeah, you get this. Main and then the rest. Okay, and then the 19.7 after that is really gonna go for it. So that's Bitcoin more or less covered. I'm going to do a simplified version of Ethernet really well to plan. I did post it in real time, so other stuff I do post so on my Twitter. So what I've done, let's go FBTC first. FBTC is at macro mid-range, which I entered a bit early because in case it was a minimum lower high and it had taken the stops, it didn't have to go towards there. So I don't, when I trade swing trading, I don't bother about precise entries. Sometimes it's precise like the Bitcoin one, but I like to average in. So actual average is around here really, but this was just my first position. I go on based on what I'm wrong. So that's the range high, range low, mid range. So I've got a hard violation there, but if it was to reclaim and start finding support and holding above here, I'd have to look to cut something like this. Okay, if it gives me the opportunity to get out, because this could have been a deviation. Otherwise, I don't know how much I'm going to lose. Why not? The other hand, if I wasn't already on board this, I'd wait for a breakdown, and then from there, target. So I have based on this, if correct. So that's my first target, second target. So the shorts, target, and this is basic range play. If I was to simplify it, if down like this, it's just a range, isn't it? A retesting range. So that's that there. So on this basis, if correct, then probably, and if my thesis on Bitcoin is correct, ETH should be the weaker one. Now I've got an ETH chart. I'm going to simplify ETH down really. So I've done this chart. It's self-explanatory. So Bitcoin. So we play the shorts from here. I posted the shorts already, so I'm not going to repeat that. But that's range high, macro range low, and around this area is the mid-range area. Okay, on a stop loss basis, if I was to 5-minute chart, the first stops is actually be resting below here, proper ones. So what we've done is we've broken down. So this is a valid short around here for me. Target. If it comes into starts bouncing, I'll cut it. But if I'm correct and the dollar is correct, at least even though if it bounces a little, that's just a bounce within this range, isn't it? Okay, so and then if it breaks below here and holds, then it's a separate trade or to compound on target. Done. Simple as that. If it goes lower, it goes lower. Now, if it reclaims back above here, well, that still means it's below macro range high, but that could be short-term longs. But so if it does that, I'll wait for a run up. Okay, until it cleanly breaks above this, and smashes above like Bitcoin does, above the UK, and this does that, then I look for longs on this. But till then, it's still capped. So worst case scenario, if it swings me out, I'll get out. I'll wait for some sort of swing failure here, and then get back in, something like this, and play it towards here, and that's just a range bound market. Okay, or even if it does something like that, and then gets back below, then I'm happy to take that. So it doesn't matter if it's a lower high or a swing failure of a previous high, it doesn't really matter. Okay, so for me, zooming in now, I mean, that chart alone should probably describe the whole thing anyway. It's very easy. We got basic SR retest, okay, small time frame, because so we had a range high region, we had a range low region. It's a range breakdown now. That support becomes resistance in towards this key support, which is mid range on the macro view. Take out these stops, okay, and cut above here, or reclaim back above here, cut it. Straightforward, right? That's it. So if FBTC corrected the FBTC idea and the bearishness on the major cryptos, then they should drop a lot. I wouldn't be surprised we just straight nuke fee as well. If it's just really gonna hit the fan, maybe something like this. I like this. Okay, take out these stocks personally. That's what I'm looking for. Obviously, I'll look to cut in the clean reclaim back above here, and I'll wait for the scenarios I mentioned, and I'll probably just take it from there if that was to happen. But if correct, then this should be it. That's Ethereum more or less done. I don't need to go into detail. Okay, sometimes keep it short, and if you want detail, the previous review does cater for that. Now let's go on to Matic. So let's break this down. I don't hate Matic. I don't even know what the fuck it is. Just like I don't know what fucking Bitcoin does or Ethereum does, or I don't care what they do. It's about trading it, right? All I know is trading like a risk-off asset, and that's all I need to know. So straightforward Matic play. We quarterly quarter chart, where the stops resting. If this was a 5-minute chart, and look at this, previous quarter low, that's it. So on the high time, that's significant, and we shorted this. I called it live to come on Twitter. We called the top there. Hence why I'm a bit bearish. It was just a clean setup. The PA is very clean to trade. I actually love Matic because it's very clean to trade. I'm a trader. I don't care about investing until the time comes, but it's a trading market. Okay, if you're investing, you shouldn't be watching these streams. I trade both ways, but right now, because the environment's bearish, and if you look at this, everything is breaking down. So where the stops can be resting. If it's done all of this, and short term, that's a range highs. Okay, it's juicy stops resting towards there, aren't they? So this is a stop run these lows. So that's first target area. So I personally think we could push towards it with the consolidation that did that, which is around about here. That's the high there, then has been retested. Okay, stop run. It's easy stop, and then you can bounce. Do what you want. So where's this? 6.8. We'll go at 0.75 area first, then 0.68, and then 0.6. Okay, if so, another way of looking at it is also, okay, if that's the case, if we've got this range low here, right, and this is our range highs, well, technically the extreme end of a stop run would be, for a whole leg, would be here. Okay, now say if we did this and you say you're worried, oh, what if it goes there? Okay, no problem. Unless it does in one candle, you're fine then. If it does that, it's gonna probably, and then carries on breaking down. I'll just have my Bitcoin lows really. We're still in Bitcoin, Ethereum, but on its own merit. For fuck's sake, what a retarded drawing is this? Besides, this mouse can't get used to these gaming mouses. These are shit old school mouse. It's difficult to move. Separate trade there then. Okay, so if you need to get out, you can not get back in. Because that's a range on its own then. Right? Simple as that. That's that. Done Matic. And finally, Pepe. And I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Straightforward. I don't waste time on this. So what I've done is, you got my range high, range low, mid range. I'm not short, by the way. If it gives me, it gives me. If it doesn't, who the gives a fuck? Clean setup. Retake the mid range. It doesn't matter, even if we go back above. Reclaim. Deviate. Target. It didn't give me the pullback up here, so I took it on a breakdown like this. That's what I shorted it then. Okay, previously down towards target area. So I'll be doing the same here. If it doesn't give me from here, I'll look for another one. But I don't really care about Pepe. Target region. Let's just level to level trading. That's it. If it reclaims back above here, okay, fair enough. Then that could be a deviation. And say Bitcoin popping up and everything else. Then consolidation. Sorry about my drawing, but you get the picture from the target there probably. At least towards here. Okay, but if everything else is pointing lower, then I would think lower. But I'm not bothered by this. I mean, everybody wants to. There's so many every tweet I do, people ask about Pepe. That's the reason I'm throwing it in. So I hope you guys enjoyed the stream. Like it, share it, subscribe to the channel, like the video. It helps the channel, and use the link in the description to show appreciation. And catch you guys soon. Bye bye.